killed everything.
What's that, Kitty? You think the Excelsior 2 should keep its 360 firing arc?
Chips, are you ready?
Increase it? I guess I could make it an artillery range ship.
Yeah, make it artillery range. Right.
Have the whole
Great
map
idea.
upgrade. I think that's a better idea.
Torpedoes.
Okay, I'm going to the other channel now.
It's gonna be crazy.
Hey guys, Triptych here along with my cat to commentate a 3 vs 3 Triptychs mod game. The version is Triptychs mod 3.8 and the map I think is Binary Protostars again. Man, the Binary Protostars games always seem like the ones that I end up recording. So we have on the top team, I think they did decide teams just now. I didn't see who randomed their race and who chose, so sorry about that. But people have actually been choosing various races so they can learn about Triptychs mod, since I posted overview videos where you can see what everything does. So we have Chips in the top left, who is Optimized Borg. His ally, Martok, who is Risner Federation, and their ally, Nessie, who is also Risner Federation. In the game we just played, we had a lot of diamonds and phalanx flying around, so that was a thing. On the bottom, we have Starmaster Prodigy, who is Dominion, and I think he might have chosen that to test it out. If so, thank you, buddy, because I need more testing. And in the middle, we have Drazon, who is Assimilate, by the way. Prodigy was PureTech. And then on the right, we have another Borg, which is Sweet Ashley. Sorry, Kitty's on the warpath. And Sweet Ashley is optimized. So we have a lot of Borg in this game. Let's see. So 2 Feds, 3 Borg, and a Dominion. However, one of those Borgs is Assimilate, so we'll see that. Historically, Assimilate has been bad against other Borg. Although I've been trying to mitigate that, but there's only so much you can do when your faction has bonuses to assimilating and your opponents have 9,000 crew. But against the Federation, they'll be doing okay. Okay, we might have a problem here, Kitty. And Starmaster has lost his scout to... Sorry, who was that? That was Chips. Okay, so, with the PureTech Dominion, we see a bunch of bugs coming out. He'll have access to the alpha refits later on, and he gets slightly cheaper shipyard upgrades. And he actually went for... Kitty! No, we do not walk on keyboards here, Kitty. So... Wow, this is really intense, isn't it? So, Starmaster Prodigy has actually gone for his yard before his tritanium mining, which is going to get him that first bug out very quickly. And actually, he might get away with a second bug, too, very quickly. So that's going to give him some early rating. However, against a Borg opponent, I don't know. Transmission matrix first. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize you could build the transmission matrix without a conduction matrix. You shouldn't be able to, so I'll fix that in the next version. I wonder if this was a misclick, maybe? Or because you can't do anything with a transmission matrix without a conduction matrix. Yeah. I'm going to correct that in the next version. However, Chips, he does still have his mining. He's going to be short on tri for a while there, but the conduction matrix costs 800 dilithium, 200 tritanium. Oh, that's something I forgot to mention in my overview. Because it's more of a shipyard, basically. So he's not going to have any combat. He could build probes. You can build probes without a conduction matrix in Triptychs mod. And he could if he really has to. But he'd rather build freighters. So actually, Prodigy might get some decent rating here with his 2 bugs when nobody else has defenses, because sorry, okay, Martok in the middle. Yeah, he got his engineering and has not started his yard yet, and there's already a bug coming out. And then in the top right, I'm sorry guys, this was Nessie, who hasn't gotten any stations but is going for heavy mining here. And we're probably going to see an Antares Yard come out over here. So the top team have no combat ships and no direction of combat ships. So this little bug is going to be completely unopposed in the beginning. Its damage isn't too high, obviously, but you know, like an S2 would be pretty dangerous here. This is the situation where you might even, you know, I mentioned prototypes are not useful a lot of the time, but an S2 prototype might be good if you're super rushing because it has that extra very high offense damage if you just want to kill stuff. In the bottom middle, we do see a medium vinculum first out of Drazon, and this is actually relatively early. In the grand scheme of things, on a big multiplayer map like this, sometimes a player might, you know, delay their conduction matrix entirely just to get a bunch of freighters out. Starmaster Prodigy did that in our last game, and then he whomped us because nobody went after him and raided him. But we are seeing a constructor move out, so this might actually be an early pyramid, which I'll be interested to see how the pyramid performs now that I've removed the ability to have more than 2 holding beam modules on it. You can't have a 4 holding beam pyramid anymore. And you do see there is a bit of natural safety in a very big map like this, where the run distance is so long. The bug's just arriving, and this was, for Starmaster Prodigy, he started that yard first, so this is like the fastest bug you possibly could have gotten. And it's arriving right now, and even though there are no defenses, like, they honestly might be able to build a platform before he kills anything. Every race has their own ways to handle early aggression. I mean, actually, we'll probably see... Oh, he doesn't have try for an Antares Yard. That'll be tricky. As soon as one of these... Now, with this distance, you do need 3 miners. Like, this can operate with 2 miners just about, but this definitely needs 3. And so he can't build an Antares Yard. He's just going to suffer a very, very slow death here. Yeah, so like the run distance actually does determine what you can get away. And a transmission matrix over here as well. I don't know why people are doing transmission matrices so early. Was it 2 misclicks in the same game? Or are they just exploring their options? Never see a probe. So yeah, the run distance, sorry, I was saying the run distance really makes a difference here because when there's a short run distance, you actually can just build some combat ships and go whomp somebody who isn't defending themselves. But when the run distance is this long, that makes a very serious difference because that's like a 30-second to a minute. Now there's 2 cats. That makes like a 30-second to a minute difference on how fast these ships arrive. And you see, it's not going to kill anything because the yard's going to come up and they're going to be able to repair. And then, in theory, Starmaster Prodigy will be behind on his economy because he's done this. Obviously, his try income earlier was delayed, but that doesn't seem to be hurting him too bad. So everybody is going for more big map econ games. And I mean, this will probably be about the longest run distance we'll want in any game. Because of the way it's square and everybody's near the edges of the map, you do have a very long travel distance. Any longer than this, and I feel like it isn't super well balanced. Depending, you know, like some games, they evolve over time and you have bigger maps and smaller maps. Like StarCraft uses way bigger maps than it did when it first started. But I feel like I'm not going to try to balance the game for maps that are much bigger than this map. I think that the ability to raid someone early is important. Okay, so we see an assimilator start from Drazon. Well, go up. He should have enough to start building it at this point. Assimilators do not cost much more than that. But maybe he needs like 1 dock. If he does, it'll be a long time till it happens. Yeah, that ship could definitely start now. And then its move distance, or its move speed is so slow. Getting all the way around would take a while. But an assimilator now is actually a pretty big threat against the top team. I think Chips is realizing he has a transmission matrix instead of a conduction matrix. Which it can, the more I think about it, it can literally do nothing because even though the tooltip hasn't been updated, I did move the large vinculum over to the conduction matrix. It requires transmission matrix, but it builds from the conduction matrix. And even collective adaptation level 2 requires collective adaptation level 1, which researches at the conduction matrix. And all the other technologies require those those features. So yeah, you're gonna need a conduction matrix. He is getting a fair amount of mining up though, so as you guys know, Triptychs Mod, he's gonna have a lot of money pretty soon here. 2 bugs now. Ah, double the trouble. And the platform is building, but platforms build very slowly, and we also have lag, which is slowing it down. Like, maybe if you go for the freighter while it's docking, you might get enough damage on it to actually kill it before it makes it over here. I'm not sure, though. There is a 3rd bug coming out, really dedicated to these, and a 4th one building. As Starmaster Prodigy gets his mining up. In the middle, Drazon has started building his assimilator, and he's really moving his constructor up. Does he, he doesn't have any more vinculums, so he can't build anything. But I guess pretty soon here his income will be going up. He's actually doing a full dilithium moon plus... Oh, he didn't have a resource node at some point. So maybe that'll go to switch to die or try, I'm not sure, but his mining is not fully set up. And this is a torpedo to assimilator. So this is a scary threat. It'll take a while to get over here, but there are no Borg ships and won't be for a long time. And although there's turrets, those turrets are going to be a problem. And there's monsoons now. Hey, he actually did what I mentioned. He's going after the freighter. Maybe it's enough, maybe it's not. This is an interesting one, because if that freighter takes significant damage, it might actually be worth it to ram it with a bug and just, like, kill it. That would be a strategy against feds. Just go have your bugs ram all of their freighters 1-to-1. No, don't do that, guys. It will set them back a fair amount, especially these expansion miners, considering once you kill the miner, if you think about it, it's the amount of time until they get that mining up again, which would mean he'd have to start the miners building, build the freighters, and fly them over here. It could easily be 2 minutes before that mining starts up again, which is, 1,200 dilithium is what mines in 2 minutes. Well, from a moon. Platform slowly getting done. Ooh, that one's going to die too. Oh, so these bugs are actually becoming more of a threat. I guess 3 is the magic number here. And even though there's the one monsoon, and you can see, like, Martok's economy isn't really hurting that bad. And once these platforms go up, he will be able to upgrade them immediately. However, the freighters that are dying are valuable to him. Because of the way that, 2 miners mine a moon, you could say each miner is worth 300 dilithium a minute. Now, the monsoon is faster than the bug, so in theory it could chase it down and kill it, but there's enough other bugs here that they can chase off the monsoon. And I think they might be going over to attack the Borg, maybe. Or maybe they're just drawing the ship out away from the yard, so it has to go back and repair. He might go repair. Oh, he's going to team up with the assimilator. That's going to be a scary combo. The assimilator doesn't really regenerate. I mean, it regenerates fairly well, but I don't know if it can out-regenerate a phaser platform if one comes up here. But if it does tank the turret, that would allow the bugs to keep going in the area. There's not a lot that it can assimilate very easily by itself. It can threaten a monsoon. For sure. Ooh, he's going for the platform, going straight for the platform. Going to get some damage on that. Of all the things that refit and replace, the platforms are one of the only ones that keep their health. Well, actually, I guess refitting ships. Do they? I need to check if certain refit ships, like, restore to full health when they upgrade or not. But the turrets do keep their hit points. Oh, it's a pulse platform. That's tricky. See, he's gonna chase off. So you see, in Triptychs Mod, the assimilation is a little bit slower, but it takes less energy. So you can assimilate pretty consistently. And he's not going to capture anything right now. But when there's a second assimilator, he gets way scarier. And there you see the medium vinculum. A big part of Borg economy is getting just enough resources to start your vinculum, because the vinculum takes so long to build. And he's pulling back, but I would keep going. Since, Oh, okay, there's a page platform. Well, I guess at this point they're pretty happy that they forced so many resources out of Martok. Martok isn't unhappy with this, though, because honestly, like, these aren't bad things to have. The Pulse platform's a little low stat, medium range, resist short range, so it doesn't do a lot here. But, like, he's not sad about having turrets at his expansion. It is slowing down his ability to make combat ships, though, significantly. And he did take enough mining damage. And now they're going to come over here where there is a conduction matrix coming up, but it's going to have to build vinculums. So you're going to see the Borg are going to have a lot of resources, but they are not going to be able to spend them. And it's also rough because the conduction matrix could research the regenerative processes tech that lets your freighters regenerate. But if it does that, it can't be doing vinculums at the same time. So I think he needs to start a medium vinculum like right now. But he's in a bad spot. Chips is. He's got, the assimilator, it does have relatively high stats. I mean, it hits almost as hard as a starbase. Like I say, the real danger is when there's a second one out. In the right, which I've been ignoring for a while. Sorry, guys. Nessie and Ashley have been having their duel, where Nessie has done a super forward expansion. He's actually gotten his warp ins, and I think he just called one, yeah. Is that his first yard? So he saw that Ashley wasn't doing early stuff and made his first yard at the middle base. But he did successfully make it to warp ins with chassis level 1. We can actually determine what chassis level he's on. Oh, no, we can't. I'll just say by mousing over this and seeing the cap file, but it doesn't show it for us. So he does have Monsoon Intrepid coming up. The constructor went back, and that is a torpedo adapter, which is a very torpedo regen adapter. Yeah, the combat adapter, which has very high offense for its price, but they tend to die quickly. Like later, you can get regeneration for it, and since it is the biggest ship that uses small vinculums, its rebuild cost is still relatively high. But you can definitely use them to supplement your force. Like, they'll die. Maybe if you're in a team fight and you have other ships that will tank for it, that might be good. But the adapter itself, and also, the torpedo damage doesn't do a lot against a lot of early game ships like the Monsoons, which are tanking for the bigger ships. But if you just need straight torpedo damage, throwing out a number of adapters will help. Small vinculums coming out as well. We have a combined fleet from Martok and Nessie. This is going to be very scary, especially since the assimilator can't really go home. Killed a constructor. Killed a freighter. It looks like it didn't get back. So that's 2 freighters they've killed here. They're probably going to get a third one here. Want to threaten the conduction matrix. Well, it's still got a minute for that medium vinculum. I don't think you kill it in a minute. Maybe you do. Is that 4? 4 of these in an assimilator. They might. I don't know if they do. If they kill this before this vinculum is done, then Chips is just out. He's in huge trouble. I mean, he still has resources, but he can't build anything for a super long time until he rebuilds this. Okay, they don't kill it in a minute. So he is going to get a medium vinculum, which will let him get like a sphere, which can chase this off for sure. Because even the assimilator has good stats, and even though 2 assimilators can do a lot to a sphere, the sphere still wins because it's faster and it can just run away. So, Drazon, though, with all of his forward building, he doesn't have anything at home. He does have a medium vinculum, so he can build something out of this right away. It almost would have been a good idea for him to build an uplink at home before he left with his constructor, so he would have this. Oh, there he goes. Okay, he's got a pyramid going. And that's going to start pretty soon, because it doesn't cost much more tritanium than that. But he's going to suffer very badly at home. And because of his focus on dilithium mining, he doesn't have a lot tri, so he can't get collective adaptation to get that regeneration technology. So this combined Federation fleet, they're just going to rip through him. Oh yeah, he only even has single miners at home. So Drazon is going to be left with very little, except for a pyramid and an assimilator. So I think a lot of it's going to come down to Starmaster. Can Starmaster defend at home? And he is really teching up here, getting his catcher cell, and not any other yards at all. So maybe he's going for alpha refits. That could be interesting. It's a lot of supply. He'll have to do a supply buy if he really wants them. But if so, all of a sudden these oh, he did. Yep. Oh, they're actually just starting their refits. It's a 20-second refit time. Yeah, so when these ships refits, he's doing it right here, so cheeky, but there's nothing that can shoot him. So the refit increases the attack by 7. It goes from 14 offense to 21 offense. And remember, it is actually more expensive to refit than it is to build them. So, although I guess technically building them has a slightly slower build rate because they take longer to build than the base bugs. But yeah, he's going to have 21 offense. Also, what is that? The Catcher Cell Refinery. Okay, yeah, so he's going to use that. Interesting choice, really focusing on a single ship here. We're not really seeing how they fight normally because there's no, there hasn't been any resistance. And the assimilator can threaten them a bit. Let's see, yeah, the Alpha refit increases its crew from 55 to 70. But it's the 21 offense that's really important. That really nice offense. Yeah, that medium vinculum's not going to finish. You need to cancel that and get your money back. So this assimilator, it can kind of chase things off. Oh, nice. I did not notice that. So Chips has gotten the fortification matrix upgrade, which makes it so that all of his stations have has torpedoes. Okay, yeah, and they can miss. That's interesting. Do I need to make sure... I need to double check all the Borg stations and make sure they all have physics files, because otherwise their torpedoes wouldn't be able to miss, but it looks like they can. So, oh, he's even trying to board. So he is mounting a furious defense, and when this torpedo assimilator... no, this is a damage. Torpedo beam regeneration assimilator, full combat assimilator comes in. It's going to threaten these guys. I think because of the mischance, they're not going to get kills, but they are going to force this off. And the conduction matrix lives. Oh no. I think did he cancel the second vinculum to get the money back? I think he did based on how much he has. So that fortification matrix upgrade really going to save his bacon. The pyramid is scary. Ooh, the holding beam is scary. Because you can focus, but the thing is, these bugs really don't want to fight over here. They didn't get a defense upgrade. They've still got the 17 defense. Back here, Starmaster Prodigy is getting raided, and he does not defend himself. Yeah, he needs a supply buy. He does have his supply thing activated. What is this raid, by the way? Okay, so it is actually the same rate as the Federation one. It's 4-to-1, which means it's the same as the supply buy for 1,000. So your first supply buy that cost like 750, and then like your second one that costs 850 are actually better than using this. It only becomes more really efficient in later game. Oh yeah, you do have to target fire. When you use holding beam, it automatically tells you guys not to shoot. Oh, the engines got disabled. Oh dear. Okay, well that's gonna die. Tragically. Chips does have the vinculum, so he can rebuild it relatively quickly when he goes for it. But that still hurts. He's getting locked down really hard. And this what is this? This is a 2 holding beam, torpedo. Wait. This is a 2 regen, 1 torpedo, 1 holding beam. So that actually is pretty focusing heavily on combat stats. Oh, it's gonna die, don't cancel. Ooh, okay, yeah, Chips is in a bad space right now. He does have torpedo weapons on his other stations, and his starbase is very nasty. I don't know if they can kill this. They can try though, wow, they do have those heavy torpedo weapons. Yeah, they're gonna get it. He can't even build it. He's gonna have to go build he can't build an uplink because the conduction matrix is gone. Yeah, Chips is super hard locked down. Sorry about the whole transmission matrix. I will make it so that you simply cannot build it without the conduction matrix. in the future. A bug got caught out. There should be more warpins from Nessie, I believe, when he gets his additional chassis levels, which he's clearly gotten because he has Akirez. So I think he is ready for his second warpin. The bugs went to cause some trouble in Martok's backyard, but Martok has been really focusing on turrets. In fact, I don't know what else the bugs killed. I don't see a lot of stuff that's dead. And the fact of them being behind the lines, like they can't really repair. Although there are some juicy targets over here. That is not the juicy target. The juicy target is the home dilithium. Oh, okay, he's coming back. And then he's like, what is this? You built all these turrets because we intimidated him early. Yay. Ah, he even saw the ships warping in. So, in the top, Chips is locked down in a bad state. It's really unfortunate. He's rebuilding his conduction matrix, which is good. But he wants to get his expansion mining up again because he's got half as much mining as everybody else. Nessie, on the other hand, has made up for it because he has 3 times the mining. And he does have platforms in place, unupgraded platforms, but that's totally fine because he can upgrade them if he gets attacked. So he's going for Akira's and Excelsior 2s out of 2 E2 yards and 1 Antares yard, and he's got the warpins. While Martok is going Excelsior 2s out of 2 yards and nothing out of the smaller one. He doesn't have his warpins, but he has all the turrets. The bugs are okay. They counter the Akirez, and honestly, their dodge chance isn't bad against the Excelsior 2s. Ooh, this guy getting caught out. This guy might get killed because of that 21 offense, 23 with ranks. We'll see. That doesn't feel like very much damage, does it? You know, I had gotten a bug report from someone saying that these ships didn't do much damage. And that seems to be the case, because that is not 6 or 7 ships worth of 21 offense. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna look into that. I apologize for that. I'm gonna take another look at this and see if there's something wrong with these ships, because that's not the damage that they're supposed to do. I did double check the file last time when Shadow mentioned it, but that's gross. I don't know how that could have happened, but I'll double check the damage on this ship for you. Sorry about that. And if that's the case, then these ships might be kind of crippled. Yeah, actually starts calling a GG. That's an interesting one. They did shut down chips, but Nessie has quite a lot, and it looks like Ashley does not have a lot either. Well, no, she has some adapters, but she wouldn't be able to fight those Excelsior 2s that are coming out.
With their 3 ships, OP. Very nice.
Alright, well, I have a lot to think about, but I'm going to sign out of the video now.